As soon as the program has started up, we see the planets of our solar system at their current relative positions in space. Press Start to start the simulation. We see the planets orbiting the Sun. Let's put the Earth in the center and zoom in and observe the Moon orbiting the Earth. Let's slow things down a bit. Observe that it takes about 28 days for the Moon to orbit the Earth. Now let's zoom out and observe this scale. We can zoom out all the way to a stunning 1000 quadrillion kilometers, enough to fit in whole galaxies, which we will see in another episode. Let's zoom back in again. Put the Sun in the center. Now there are of course more programs that can tell you the position of the planets at a given time in space, but Gravity 1 is unique in that it uses real-time gravity calculations. These factors show the resulting force of gravity acting upon the planets. Observe the direction of the Sun. It's pointing towards Jupiter, because that's the most massive planet of our solar system. Okay, now let's try to add a planet ourselves. Take the texture of Mercury, give it an initial speed of 20,000 meters per second. Speed things up again and observe that the new planet is orbiting the Sun in an elliptical motion. I have created these buttons for you that automatically give the objects the proper speed to make a circular motion around the Sun, counterclockwise or clockwise. Now observe this number. As I keep adding planets, the number drops. Making real-time gravity calculations is really time-consuming. The program automatically makes less accurate calculation as you keep adding planets, and that way we keep getting a fluent animation. Right, now let's remove these trails. It gets a bit messy. Let's remove the names. We can remove the background as well, so we have a clear view of the planets orbiting the Sun. Right, let's remove all of this and start with a solar system again. What would happen if the Earth would lose half of its mass, for example, because it would break in two? What would this do to the orbit of the Earth around the Sun? Well, we can see not much happens. The orbit of the Earth around the Sun is mainly determined by the mass of the Sun, which is many times more than the mass of the Earth. Also observe that the Moon is no longer orbiting the Sun, the Earth, but is making its own orbit around the Sun. Right, now let's see what happens if the Sun would lose part of its mass. The Sun is constantly fusing hydrogen into helium, thereby losing a bit of its mass. If it would lose a lot of its mass, it would mean that the planets of our solar system would move to an orbit more distant from the Sun, which we can see here. The orbit is now a bit elliptical. That's mainly because the change has been suddenly. If the mass of the Sun would degrade more gradually, the orbit would stay more circular. Okay, this concludes the demonstration for now. I suggest you try to play with the program yourself, create your own solar system, and thanks for watching.